Alrighty, we've got a match for Division K5 of the league between BenjiDial and YbbaTheCat, joined by jonts.
That's me.
Oh no.
Oh, what a board.
Oh no. Oh no.
Wild.
This is a crazy board. So I immediately noted it's possession and
Wow.
donate, but there's also market square and donate. Hmm. What is this?
So there's no village. I guess Gamble's kind of a village.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Donate Market Store is really, really good.
Wait, is this their first match? Let's go see. Where is K? This is the very final division on the page, the numerically last of the K division. This is YbbaTheCat's very first match. Benji has played two already and is exactly even after a 4-2 and a 2-4.
All right. Well, I mean, Iba does the correct open, which is Market Square.
Yes. So the key synergy here is you buy two market squares, and then on turn three, provided you find a market square, you buy a third market square and then donate. If you don't find a market square, you just buy donate. And then you just trash all the cards in your deck except maybe a copper. And then technically all the cards are in your hand. And so if you trashed all your coppers in a state, you can react with the market squares, and then immediately your deck is just nothing but golds. And then you do that like one more time, and your deck is like six golds. And then either that's a good start to pivot into an engine, or that's just a phenomenal deck for big money.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much of an engine. I mean, I guess Highway exists.
Yeah, here I'd be
So,
thinking about just having like the three golds from donating once, and then a bunch of copies of Market Square and Highway. I think could be faster than just clicking Province.
yeah, that could play with, let's say, an armory to gain highways and eventually gain provinces, or more market squares. But with only one terminal, you're also kind of looking at possession.
So I, like all sensible people, have possession banned. I'm led to believe
Yes.
possession plus donate often led to stalemate games. Is that still true after the errata?
I don't believe. So what used to happen is you wouldn't put your cards in your hand until the post trashing. So basically, you trash their entire deck. Then they draw zero cards in their cleanup phase, and then you play. Then they draw their new hand after they can't do anything, and then you play possession again. And just repeat that. So basically, by trashing their entire deck every single turn, they would never actually draw a hand. Um, the I don't know what's the wording on possession now.
What a monstrous card.
Instead of
Uh,
sampling discard at end of turn, yeah. So it still works, right? Because of
oh
the
God.
order on possession.
So you possession didn't even always say or debt. That got added a while back. But at least
Well,
you would take
yeah,
the
yeah.
debt from buying donate. Um, so you play possession on their turn. You buy donate. You just trash every card in their deck, and that's
Mhm.
fine because like they don't lose the card permanently. So they set them aside and get them back. But they get them back after drawing their hand, and so they just have a zero card hand next turn. So for 8 money, basically, you can lock your opponent out of the game.
Yep. Um, this board's wild.
And so that's what would happen if one player had possession. I think the correct strategy, if both players have possession, is you don't want your deck to have any money in it because then your opponent can make use of that. And so you get a possession and then you just donate down to like nothing but possession. And then if both players do that, you're just stuck.
Yep.
I remember it was an infamous, I think it was a 122 turn game between VR Smith and someone else on ladder, where they both got locked in that possession game, and then they bought out
Mhm.
the coppers one by one, and the curses one by one, slowly lower the piles.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad they tied.
Truly peak minion. Okay, so Iba here does have a potion.
I question why Iba has the potion. In what realistic scenario are you hitting 6 money and a potion this early in the game, given your deck
Yeah,
composition?
usually with possession because it's so expensive. Six potions huge. You got to build a little bit before you can like add the potion and then add possession.
Yeah.
Because the potion just sits around dead for a while. Now, if there's cheaper potion cost cards, then you can like get the potion and play with the cheaper stuff, and then eventually get possession. But with just possession, usually you're waiting for the potion.
Deck seems a little bit unfocused in general. We got one market square, an armory, a silver, a fool's gold, a market square, highway, potion, just a little bit of
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah, usually with fool's gold, one fool's gold is a really bad number of fool's golds.
It
So if you're getting
is.
fool's gold, you're usually trying to get a lot of fool's golds.
Yeah. Fool's Gold Donate is also actually really good. I think it's slightly worse than Market Square Donate. But you just like buy some Fool's Golds, you donate, you buy some more Fool's Golds. Like that would also be very fast. Note how
Yeah, the
all the
fool's gold.
strong synergies here involve donate.
Yes. So currently, zero donates have been donated. Um,
I think donate is probably the strongest event in the game. Certainly one of the strongest things in all of Dominion. Uh,
it's also very game warping in the
yeah.
way it works.
Like there's like nearly 100% guarantee in any given kingdom that you're clicking donate at least once. And so the question is, what do you want to get into your deck before clicking donate? And you usually want to click it by like turn 2 to 3, more often than not. So Market Square has this
Yeah.
funny synergy, but like if you didn't notice that, then I think the natural thing to click would be Armory. Like you put an Armory in your deck, then you donate and you trash everything or like basically everything, maybe leave a copper or two. And then while you're paying off the debt, your Armory can still be gaining you stuff. And so like gainers are particularly good to donate because they give you immediate value even before you've gotten back out of debt.
Mhm. Like on this board, markets are doing it I think, is the strongest thing, but like if markets weren't here, then like armory with fool's gold would be quite strong.
Speaking of Fool's Golds, Eva just bought the true Fool's Gold.
It was actual gold.
Yes. Buying gold in this kingdom is especially egregious. Look at all the fun stuff you
Yeah,
could be
when you have
doing.
easy ways to gain gold, you tend to not buy it. You just, in this case, market square trashing gets you gold.
Yeah.
Almost hit six potion here, just a little shy.
Gamble. Maybe you find a gold on the top or a wine
Who has
merchant.
there's one more gold out there. Who has the other gold?
I don't know. If any player discovers that donate exists, that player is going to be like 95% likely to win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually donate. You can turn one donate sometimes. During turn one, you're usually donating down to just 5 coppers, and you're paying off debt and then buying a 5 cost card.
Yeah.
But more often, you're probably donating turn. I think 3 is probably most common. Maybe turn 2.
Yeah, I think turn 2 or 3 are pretty normal turns. Turn 1, I would think of is like that's usually a good segue into like a 5 cost copper trasher is what I would associate with a turn 1 donate. Is like you donate and then you buy a counterfeit for a treasure, and then that thins the coppers one by one. Otherwise, like just silver followed by donate is a pretty normal opening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like on the 3-4 here, I would expect like silver, then armory, then donate. If you didn't see the market square stuff, would be also a pretty
Mm-hmm.
normal opening.
Well, I think maybe Fool's Gold Armory donate if you're doing that path
Oh yeah, yeah,
first.
yeah. Fool's gold as well. Um, like double fool's gold donate.
I would.
Oh, Benji did it.
Okay, we got it.
Better late than never. So trash for sure. All the coppers and estates,
Mm-hmm.
and probably the silver as well. No, we're keeping the silver.
All right.
All right, and this deck is just going to hit 8 forever.
Yeah. At this point, you can probably just start taking provinces, or maybe you want to hit possession. I guess it's an option.
Uh, so I'm pretty sure that if Benji had just clicked gamble there, they would have had an obscene amount of money. They had 8 money and 2 buys. You buy gamble. There's one card down there you didn't particularly want to find, which is the highway, and then a million fool's golds. Every time you gamble and hit a fool's gold, you make 2 money back. So they could
Mm-hmm.
have gotten as high as like 16 money there. So here for sure you want to click gamble, at least until you find plus buy. I said at least until you find plus buy, Benji. Don't you want to buy two things?
Yeah, gamble is. I think gamble is pretty hard to use effectively for new players, but it is. I think on average pretty strong.
Yeah, it's not. You have to work pretty hard usually to build a deck where gambling has net positive expected value on average. Your deck has to be pretty chock full of money. Just so happens that these decks are naturally full of money.
Mm. Well, even if you're not building like a full engine where you're just gambling a ton, even just like an opportunistic gamble here or there tends to be pretty good. If you're doing a decent job like tracking
Yeah.
what cards in your deck.
So we have a lot of terminal action cards in these decks for a deck that has no villages.
Yeah. So generally you want to try to not draw too many
No, no,
terminals.
no, 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 no! Don't do that, Benji. Why?
Oh, we lose our golds.
Why do you want that? You already had two fool's golds in your hand. Oh, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Uh, sorry, as you were saying.
I forgot. Oh, terminals. Right, because you can only play one terminal unless you have, villages or things that serve that purpose. But if you're constantly seeing multiple wine merchants or multiple terminals and you can't play your actions, that's just kind of a waste, right? So balancing how many terminals you have with like villages or just like draw in general.
No, not you too, Eba.
Well, you know what? As they say, a fool and his fool's gold is soon parted.
This actually would have been a great turn to top deck a fool's gold with the armory. Then you could play the first fool's gold and click gamble. Then you'd hit the second fool's gold and make 4 money.
Hmm.
That would have been a nice synergy.
It's looking like possession never gets bought this game.
The potion was decorative.
Hmm.
Yeah, fool's gold's reaction, I would say, basically never comes up. Because in the context where you have fool's gold on the deck, it's probably because you wanted to play fool's gold. And so why would you turn a card that's worth 4 money into a card that's worth 3 money, let alone take it out of your hand and put it on top of your deck?
Yeah, if it trashed but like stayed in your hand, like you just like trashed and put a gold in your hand instead of on top of your deck, I think you would see that reaction a lot more.
That would at least be an interesting choice some of the time. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, I need more money immediately for something because I only have the one fool's
Well,
gold, but
it
then I lose
takes
it long
it
term.
takes three fool's gold. Like it takes three fool's golds to be equivalent to three real golds, right? So like if you have only two fool's golds in hand, then you can actually make money by converting them.
If I recall correctly, Donald X's actual own copies of Fool's Gold don't even have the reaction.
That's funny. But yeah, the top decking is just generally quite bad.
Alrighty. That should seal the deal.
Um, yeah, it's not quite half the points on the board, but it's getting real close. And
The
this will be
odds coming back from that, I think, are pretty low given these decks.
also given that Benji just has a province in hand.
So is Iba the Victor Crumb type to buy out the last province knowing they can't win? Or are they going to play on?
Fight till the end, the bitter end, I say.
Take the honorable death. Go out on your own terms, Iba.
Well, thinking about it, nope.
Or thinking hard about whether to discard the wine merchants.
All right, well, Benji secures game one.
Where,
Oh, we just lost.
where,
We lost Eba.
where'd Iba go? Come back.
You did say this was their first,
This is their first ever
the
league
first match
match.
ever.
So they might
Yeah,
still be figuring things out.
only case sensitive.
Oh, good. This is a product of not having ban lists. First we had a possession game, now we've got a swindler game.
This is
Uh,
incredible.
Important
Oh
PSA,
man.
if you ban cards or put cards on your dislike list, the league settings recognize those bans. You don't have to play like this.
Yes.
There's a better
So
way.
neither player has a ban or dislike list. Because you'll
Apparently
see up
not.
top that they do in the
Yeah.
log. But cards like Possession, Swindler, these are very, very common cards to ban.
Yes.
I am back guessing I list that. Okay. I am back guessing I lost that one, could not get in, I think is the translation there.
Who's to say? Maybe they lust that one.
Oh, maybe. I
Maybe,
mean, you know,
maybe lest that one.
hmm, maybe I missed that one. Maybe the L is the letter that's wrong.
That would make
Oh, maybe
sense.
list is correct. Maybe they actually did make a list of it.
So
Anyway,
this
there's a board here.
this kingdom, we got villages, we got a little bit of draw. The only way to get plus buy here is actually to gain a cavalry via university, or
It's not
else
true.
via funky
You're
bard
missing a
boons.
card. You're
Oh,
missing a card.
you're right. I was mentally blocking out a card. Your opponent could give you. Wait,
Nope.
no, your opponent
Try again.
can't. That's not what I'm thinking of.
There's
Oh,
another card. You'll
in
get
my
there.
defense, in Kingdom View, it's like off on the top.
You find it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I see Imperial Envoy. Okay, that changes
There
everything.
you go.
Okay, so yeah, we got plenty of draw and buys. Okay, so there's a
Um,
perfectly normal engine here till your envoy gets turned into a duchy.
um, yeah. So there's no trashing. I mean, there's trashing. There's no trashing that isn't your opponent trashing your cards, or the very rare chance of hitting trashing off Bard. So
One way to trash
I'll
here
go
is
with
just to set a bunch of stuff aside with native village and never pick it up again.
yeah. So that's we'll call it pseudo trashing or effective trashing.
I'd call it ineffective trashing, but it is fun to do.
Do you remember back in the day the apothecary native village engine?
It, is that not a thing anymore?
I mean, it kind of is. I just think it's not very strong. But back when the game was like boards were on average a lot weaker back in the day, so that was like a real two card combo that people would really look out for.
I don't remember far enough back that people were like, better watch out for the native village apothecary combo. That might have been farther
Yeah,
back than my
that's
time.
for sure a thing. That's for
Um,
sure a thing.
but I would certainly consider those two cards synergistic. And I also
Yeah,
I like both of those cards. I would probably go for that if that was available.
oh, I remember there might have been an article on the website for it at some point.
There were some interesting synergies on the Dominion strategy wiki. It's like a page on the like the minion loan synergy. What that is, I couldn't tell
Yes.
you.
Listen, it was a different time, okay?
Uh,
Um, Now the two players here are both avoided taking a Swindler, so maybe they're just agreeing to be nice. But Swindler is a pretty strong attack, but also very, very unpredictable.
yeah,
Which is
so
why it's often banned.
like, hitting a state is probably slightly friendly because you just got an estate off your opponent's top deck, and you probably gave him an estate back. Hitting copper into curse can hurt, especially without effective trashing.
Mhm.
Um,
Turning
okay,
5 costs into duckies is the big one though.
yeah, Benji has chosen violence.
Yeah, I was just commenting how no one took a Swindler, but you know what? Here we are.
You jinxed it.
Yeah. Um, See, on a board like this, I think I would probably play with University. I think
I
it's
think so.
only I should have named villages, but
It'd be
the
funny
nice
if
thing
their
with
swindler
University
hit your
is
potion.
hmm, that's fine. I mean, if Swindler has University, it's fine too because it just turns back into new University.
Mhm.
So it's not that they can't turn like they can hit your native village, they can turn it into an estate, which is bad. But you
Oh,
know,
well, see that
there we go. Oh, sorry. I said turn your 5 cost into duchies, but this is a Duke board. It's even worse
That's
than
even more disrespectful. This could all be solved by filling out that ban list. This is
Yes.
like precisely the reason everyone bans Swindler is you hit your
Yep.
first 5 cost card, your opponent played a Swindler, and that 5 cost card got turned into absolute junk.
Yep. And now the
Oh,
rest of the game, Duke does literally nothing for you at all.
yeah. Until in the late game, when you've gotten a bunch of duchies to pair with the Duke, and then they hit the Duke again and they turn it back into an Imperial Envoy.
Yes.
So neither player appears to be going for University. Uh,
Mm,
if you're playing big money here, I think Underling actually looks not bad for that deck. Just
yeah, I
sift
was
past
looking
all the
at
junk.
it. Yeah, you basically have at least a few underlings will let you smooth out your draws a bit.
5 money. What are you buying on 5?
More envoys to replace the one you lost.
I think probably the best strategy here does involve building an engine. And I think even if you don't play with University, you could get an Imperial Envoy Native Village engine going with Underling to help you find the cards to kick off. That's
Hmm.
got to be better, especially with like Duchy and Duke around. There's time to score provinces.
Yeah, envoy just draws a lot of cards. Obviously, you have to pay off debt, so you need some way of drawing high value treasures or other kinds of cards that can pay that off. But 5 cards is a lot of cards.
Yeah, like if the average card in your deck is worth more than one, then it's like it's Smithy, but it drew you 2 extra cards, and those 2 extra cards are going to pay off the 2 debt.
Well, it's kind of like playing two smithies is in terms of draw.
Yeah, yeah. Smithy is effectively +2 cards, whereas Envoy is effectively +4 cards because each of them takes up one spot in your hand.
Envoy also gives you a plus buy, which is
Oh,
convenient.
okay, so Benji's living within his means. Just going to start provincing ASAP. Has no grander ambitions.
All right, the swindlers are starting to fly more. Eba decided swindler was the
Heba seeks
play.
retribution. Understandable.
Yes,
Can't take
vengeance.
that lion down. The trouble is, how many cards in Benji's deck are actually worth hitting?
There's an envoy. You can always just hit their swindler too, so then you're in the
That's
clear.
true.
There it is. Hit the envoy.
Ridiculously accurate swindlers.
Yeah, snipers. Now this Duke is like by far the best thing to swindle that into. Because it's not only is it does do anything, it also has to score 0 points.
We're thinking hard about that. What?
Oh no no
What?
no! You gotta just turn to Duke.
And potion
Oh, potion got bought.
that is
It's a
certainly
late potion.
too late for a potion. If you want
Yeah,
university, you want to get
usually.
the potion early, probably in the opening even, and then get those in the deck
Yeah.
ASAP. If the potion is slow, you
Most
gotta take the drawback of getting a potion to get your universities, and the universities aren't doing a whole lot early. They're just getting you action cards, and those action cards do things, and that can definitely be worth it. I think university does look good here, but you have to start that process early.
Yeah, so most commonly you're opening potion on boards for any of these cheap stuff, especially the 2 potion ones. It's like University Apothecary. Opening potion is generally the most convenient time to take the potion. Sometimes with the 3 cost potion ones like Alchemist, you may or may not open potion in the start there.
Yeah.
There's a higher risk of missing 3 potion than there is 2 potion.
Yeah, if you're trying to get one of the 3 plus potion cost cards, you for sure want to open with something that increases your payload, like potion silver or something, because there's a very real risk of missing 3 in a potion. Missing 2 in a potion is much less likely.
Yeah, but even with silver potion, you're still like a decent amount of
Hey,
time
oh,
missing 3 potions. It's just very sad.
is that a second potion also from
The
Ibba?
second potion. Yeah. Um. So one, the potions are late, and two, you don't usually actually get a second potion on these sorts of boards. One potion is
Where
generally
these sorts of
fine.
boards is like most boards.
Yeah, I should say
Boards with potion.
it's. I would say it's very rare to want a second potion on a potion board.
Yeah, I think the card that probably makes you most likely to want a second potion is Vineyard, the victory card from Alchemy. Because there you're usually getting the Vineyard way late in the game. So if you want to start adding Vineyards at a reasonable pace, you got to add like 2 or 3 potions to get them in the last few turns. With every other Alchemy card, you're getting them earlier.
Yeah, I would say Vineyard. When Vineyard's the only potion card, you're most likely to want to wait on potion and most likely want multiple potions.
And for all the others, I'd say it's rare. Like there are kingdoms where you might want to take 2 potions for like Scrying Pool or Alchemist maybe, but they're the exception and not the rule. Here, if you said 1 potion early, it would do a whole lot more than 2 potions very late in the game.
That said, it looks like we are going to get our first university here, most likely.
But in case in point, for buying the university on turn 12, you get 10 more cards in your deck, 13 more cards in your deck because you didn't discard anything. It's gonna be at least like 3 turns before you draw that university for the first time. Then you got to go through like another 15 cards, and it's gonna be like turn 18 to 20 before you first play the first action you gain with the first university, let alone the one that you get off the second potion.
Yeah. So, and we also didn't even see a potion buy there. We saw a duchy buy because the game is so late already. So I think that's a good indication that the potion buy wasn't doing a whole lot for you.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not gonna say
actually
the
more
duchy was
surprised.
wrong, but it's a good indication that if the first time the potion shows up, you already didn't want the university, that you probably shouldn't have gotten the
Yes.
potion in the first place.
I'm actually a little surprised no one's bought a flag bearer yet.
Hmm. Yeah, flag bearer looks good here. Like if you buy the flag and they buy the flag back, well then you gotta buy the flag again. But if you buy the flag and like let's say they're hitting on sitting on like an $8 hand, yeah, either you get the flag or they don't buy the thing they really wanted, or they have like a $3 hand and they can't contest the flag.
Well, yeah, this is kind of an awkward board for flag. Like if both players were playing a bigger engine or something, you can't actually trash the flag. So you just keep buying the flag back and forth, despite the fact that you don't really want the flags in your deck. You just want the effect, and then your deck gets filled up with terminals that don't do a whole lot.
That was not a good time to buy a cavalry.
No, um, because like, what are you trying to draw at that point, right? You don't have any actions left, so you can't
Yeah.
play any action with your draw.
Yeah, cavalry is a card that it's not a strong card to have in your deck. Gain 2 horses, sometimes you want that effect, but it's often just not worth it for 4. It's effectively like a delayed moat worth of draw. The usually the main reason you're getting cavalry is because you want +2 cards right now for whatever reason. And you often want +2 cards at some point in the game. But in a case where you're already out of actions, you're not close to hitting any price point. Drawing 2 cards wasn't going to help.
Now, do you think Iba is an actual cat, or is that just a username?
One of those seems more likely than the other. Do you think, sup- supposing they are in fact a person, do you think they own a cat named Iba? And they've named it after their cat?
I think that's identity fraud, isn't it? If you do that,
That does seem dishonest.
yeah.
I see
All right. Swindlers hitting the states.
Iba the cat. Google seems to believe that IBA stands for Jordan's Black Belt Academy in Chittenden
Oh, that
County.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
All right, so the cat is a black belt.
that's a scary cat. I gotta say.
We have 2 potions and still no universities.
That is how it's gone so far. Yes. All right. At some point, someone's gonna be playing some Duchy Duke stuff here. It looks like Eva has at least a couple duchies.
Yeah, if you're the person who's building less, like you just put a few golds in your deck and you're starting to score, you probably want to have a consistent game plan. Like, I'm just buying out the provinces and I'm going to win by emptying the provinces. And if that's the case, you probably don't want to be touching the duchies because they're hurting your deck and slowing you down to get to the provinces. And then if you're the player who's got more actions and draw and buys and stuff, and your opponent's going for the provinces, well, then you probably don't want to touch provinces at all to give yourself as much time as possible to catch up, only going for duchy and duke.
Now we did just see a university buy while you were talking there, so
Just in the nick of time.
the problem with that obviously is what's going to happen is you might see your university in like 5 turns and you're going to gain a card, and then you might see the card you gain another 10 turns after that. But I don't think this game is going to be 35 turns long.
Seems unlikely.
Hmm.
Cavalry is a good example of, or sorry, university is a good example of a time you'd want to gain cavalry. You're playing your university, maybe your hand is otherwise a dud. You gain a cavalry off it, you get +2 cards immediately, and then you draw into your Imperial Envoy or something.
Hmm.
Ooh, you can gain a gold here. Click quest. You have 6 cards in
Oh yeah,
hand. Click
quest it.
quest. Quest. They did it!
Yeah.
Now Benji is sure to win.
Is is Envoy Quest like by itself like reasonable money strategy?
Uh, that's just like
6 cards.
vault.
So actually, for Envoy, you have 9 cards in hand, right?
Yeah.
So if you discard six, and you have to plus buy. So if you discard 6 of them, you'll have 3 cards more to play with, but you have to pay off 2 debt. Mm,
If you
so
discard down like
you can't like
copper and two
yeah.
silvers, or 2 coppers and a gold, you could like gain a gold and a silver off of all that.
And if you get more golds, you can like buy then another envoy and then a gold. But you can't do like province gold because you're not
Yeah.
gonna have enough money off of that.
Um.
Um,
Oh, that was very kind of Benji to give out a copper instead of a curse.
oh yes. Well, last turn, gotta be nice.
So this envoy quest interaction is basically just vault with extra steps. If you play vault and you discard all
No, it's
6 cards, you can just
not
buy the gold.
no, no, it's not vault with extra steps, okay? It's vault with plus buy and extra steps.
Okay, what do we got here? So we got
Just like vault, but vault
villages.
also could gain gold. Okay.
Litter and Ironmonger are villages. We got Magnate and Ninja and Ranger for draw. Investment, replace Crystal Ball for trashing. And plus buy is Ranger or Fortune underneath the Gladiator. Hmm. I would think you open with Ninja and Silver probably. Or just have the 5
On
2,
the
which looks great. And in that case,
on the
I'm
fact
correctly
you
going
open
to
replace
replace.
and you're very happy. Yes. I guess you open replace and seller. The seller's probably better than nothing, I think.
That's probably true.
Spending 5 for a
Interesting.
ranger is a choice.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, it makes sense to look at the fours. Sometimes there are kingdoms with like Bounty Hunter or Hermit or Masquerade where you have the 5 2 and it's just better to buy a lone 3 or a 4 than a weak 5. But Ranger is not one of those cards where you're like, man, I really got to get a Ranger in my deck ASAP. Like, Ranger is a card I would want here, but what's the rush to play it so soon? It's doing nothing the first time you play it. I think Replace looked super automatic on the 5 2. Turn those estates
Yeah.
into Ninja and then some Ironmongers. Add a Ranger much later.
Well, these players have definitely been doing a classic newer players mistake, which is not trashing enough.
That is true.
Like
No, no, no,
replace.
no, no, you. But that is
Uh-huh.
you can't do
Like
things like that in public. There could be kids watching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like estates and copper are just really bad cards, and getting rid of them, especially with a replace, you can turn your estates into good cards like Ironmonger. It's
yeah.
very nice.
The replace by there again looks super automatic. The only other thing I think you could even conceive of buying would be Crystal Ball, which also trashes, but a little bit slower. Maybe investment, I guess. But like if you're looking at investment,
Maybe.
you'd think like, why don't I just open with a replace, turn an estate into an investment, and then trash the coppers that way.
Mhm. Yeah. The problem with Crystal Ball is it does trash, but it doesn't turn your estates into Ironmongers. Is the main weakness compared to replace, I think.
Yeah, yeah. The fours here are pretty good. Ninja's a very oppressive attack, so you want a copy of that, maybe multiples, and then Ironmonger's a card just in general you want as many of as you can because it makes your deck function much more smoothly.
Yeah, Ninja also because you can play Ninja from the shadow pile at the bottom of your deck, so it does increase your hand size as well. So as long as you have like villages to play them, you can put a bunch of ninjas in there, and it's fine.
Yeah. No!
Red
Don't.
Province.
Oh
The
no! Oh no!
problem with Province is there are colonies on the board, so provinces don't score. I mean, there's other problems as well, but that's one of the bigger problems. Is with colonies, you probably want to aim for colonies and not provinces.
There's a lot of reasons not to click province there. Oh my. This game was just
Okay.
getting started and you're already pressing the escape button.
Now I will say on board, so this board has Salt the Earth, so sometimes you're inclined to start buying green cards faster on Salt the Earth, but not like that.
Yeah, I mean, seeing that province by, I would expect Iba to just be clicking Salt the Earth for the rest of the game and trying to end the game ASAP. Is the only way I could make sense of that
Yeah.
province by. Because certainly, if this game lasts any reasonable length of time, there's no way the player who bought a province turn 7 is going to win.
Well, the game also has so replace and Salt both have that effect where they make the game shorter because like you can lower your province pile, or in this case your colony pile, faster than you normally can by just like turning
Yeah,
province to province or just salting provinces. So
yeah.
certainly like fast greening isn't a terrible idea on a board like this, but maybe not that fast.
Also, they don't have a replace. So they keep buying the
That's also true.
golds. Not you too, Benji. Place, please. It's not too late. There's still hope.
There's also like I think litter has some problems because like the debt is a thing I'd be thinking about, but plus two cards plus action is a pretty good effect, and you definitely want some litters on this board.
Yeah, litter looks great here. Um, also, I mentioned before, ninja is super oppressive. If your opponent's
Mhm.
deck gets up and running and they're playing a ninja every turn, the odds that you get back to hitting 8 when you didn't build your deck at all from a 3 card hand, basically zero.
Yeah. So like on a board like this, what you should be looking at is okay, how can I get rid of my starting cards? So like replace, investment, maybe crystal ball. How can I draw more cards? So like litters for the actions, and maybe some like rangers, and then how can I just destroy my opponent? And then ninja is there for you there.
Yeah. I have an important
And
question.
replace also like at some point replacing also like hand out curses as well, which can be even more oppressive.
The word anywho, how would you spell that?
ANYH or is WHO.
That's what I would think too. According to Merriam-Webster, that's the less common spelling.
Not a chance. What are you talking
They
about?
they seem to believe that the predominant spelling is HOO. Anywho, like an owl.
I oh, hold on. That's ridiculous.
I concur. This is bugging me.
Merriam-Webster less commonly any WHO. What?
Preposterous.
Hmm. I'm gonna write a letter, a strongly worded
Strongly
letter
worded
to
letter.
Merriam-Webster. Yeah. Oh, look, a
Y-
litter. There you go.
Alrighty. I don't like Benji's choice to play that Ranger. You had a Ranger and a Ninja. The Ninja, it's an attack, and it doesn't undo that Ranger token. You can play that Ranger again in the future. I like those
All right.
buys, and I wish those buys happened like 8 turns ago.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Draw more cards, crash more cards. Both solid plays.
Surely we click litter first. I'm not sure what else we'd be thinking about here. Right, Iba?
Yeah, I think we lost Eva perhaps. Oh, there we
There we
go.
go.
Okay.
There's the back. Now Ninja.
Yeah, one ninja.
And they're going to be able to afford a fortune here, I think.
Um, assuming they choose the correct card to reveal a gladiator.
So from their perspective, I think there's no card they can 100% guarantee Benji doesn't have. Probably Silver's your best bet.
I think. Well, you just saw them discard one estate, so maybe estate is a better bet at this point.
Oh, that's
I'm
true.
not sure
Like,
who has
we're thinking about it this way. Unless they had 3 estates in their hand, if they had even 2 estates, they almost certainly discarded them just now. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good case for just revealing a state. I'm just gonna point out, no,
Oh,
you all that work.
all the work to get the fortune going, and you just don't buy it.
Imagine like an archaeologist like digging up, revealing a whole dinosaur fossil, and it's like, oh, that's neat, and then walking away and just leaving it there out in the open for anyone to
Uh-huh.
claim. Hmm.
All right, I want more litters. I want a replace. I want,
Fewer coppers.
yeah, definitely fewer coppers.
I keep thinking about March. There's like so many hands. I'm like, wow, it'd be lovely to march something here. And I realize there's just no actions worth marching in their deck because none of them has a replace.
You know what's a
Like,
yeah, you know what's a great auction march is replace.
yeah, like this hand, for example, if you had a replace in your discard, you could click March here, trash the estate, top deck an Ironmonger. That'd be a lovely turn.
Replacing ranger is sometimes nice too to get the token on the right side.
Yeah, actually, Ranger could be a decent target for marching.
Yeah.
Going back to the previous turn, just a minor play order mistake. It doesn't make any sense to play Seller first and then Ninja. If you're gonna have actions left after playing the Ninja, play the Ninja first, see what you draw first, and then you can play the Seller. And if you wanted to discard 1 copper, you can still discard 1 copper after that. Maybe you draw into a second copper you want to discard, or draw in a state you want to discard as well.
And given we ended up knowing the top card was copper anyway, if you had played ninja first, you would have drawn the copper, and then you could discard the 2 coppers.
Yeah, exactly.
So all right, so we're playing gold.
Ipa, Ipa. Look at this nice $8 treasure that doubles your money. The
Yes,
infinite
there
money
is a
hack.
treasure that does make a boatload of money. Also comes with plus buy.
Oh, the investment's gonna trash a copper
Oh, that's a
and
lot of
maybe get
points.
popped.
A lot of points. I might as well at this point. Like you're not getting deck control. It's too late for that probably. So just take a bunch of points. Seems fine. Maybe.
It is enticing, just how many points it is.
All right.
Probably doesn't matter here, given they don't have a replace in their deck. But just on principle, I would probably play a card like Crystal Ball first and then play your other treasures. Just as
Mm-hmm.
a very general rule of Dominion, if you're trying to choose a play order, the card that It gives you more information. You want to play that before the cards that require information. So, for example, yeah, like you hit a magnet off the top, then you want to have treasures in your hand to draw. If you hit a replace off the top, you want to turn a gold into a province. Maybe you hit a seller off the top, maybe you want to discard a silver and look for something else. There's a lot of reasons why you might um, want to play the crystal ball first. So there's no real reason you want to play it in the other order. I'd buy a replace here.
Yeah. Well, I probably would have played Gladiator instead of Ninja, and then bought Fortune.
Mm-mm-mm. I've always been more of a dog person. Showing off your fancy platinum. Just enough money to buy a fortune. Right, Benji? Or replace, perhaps? I would accept a replace here. I think that'd be a perfectly fine buy. Better
Uh-huh.
late than never. All right,
Yeah, Fortune
there we
man.
go. You know what it was? They had the gladiator in play. They're like, ooh, that comes with a free
Mm,
gold.
hey, I mean,
I know the psychology of a
whatever it takes.
K-League player.
Whatever it takes to do the
Yeah.
right thing. Duchy is not great.
Yeah.
It's only 3 points, and there's a lot of game left.
Yeah. Like, what is your strategy for ending the game if you start clicking duchies on 5 every time here? If you're trying to end the game ASAP, salt the earth trashing a province would be a much better way to do it. Or even trashing a colony.
Yeah. Obviously, it only scores 1 point instead of 3 points, but it ends the game faster, and it also doesn't put a card in your deck that doesn't do anything for the rest of the game. I don't think you're supposed to play both ninjas there because you kind of want to spread out the attack.
Yeah, given the size of their decks, you're not going to be triggering a shuffle every single turn. They had, what, 9 money already? The odds that they drew something that was going to make a difference weren't that high. Magnate also gets hosed bad by Ninja.
It does, yes. Because instead of drawing 4 cards, now it draws 2 cards. Significantly worse.
Mm-mm.
And it looks like Benji's also getting in on the Duchy action.
Interesting that they didn't choose to discard the copper there.
Um, yeah. Although I assume copper is worse than the average treasure value in their deck under its current composition. So yeah.
Salt the earth, trash province.
Yep.
So if you were to salt 4 times, you'd be at 38 points. Even a colony wouldn't be enough to protect against that.
Oh, look at that Fortune doing work. Woo.
Interesting. It's a good
It's almost like
idea.
doubling their money with good effect.
Don't love the duchy so much, but okay. Just imagine if instead of the golds in these decks, you had like a bunch of litters and some ironmongers and some rangers, and you drew that one copy of Fortune every turn, and you got to have that $18 hand every turn. Wouldn't that be something?
Mm-hmm. That's a world that could exist. But yeah, general rules: trash when you can, draw when you can. Worry about like treasures later. Hey, we're salting. I guess it makes sense to salt when you have a points lead. So that salt's probably fine.
Yes. Yeah, Benji now has the points lead. Nick Salt is okay. I probably would have salted provinces though. If you're trying to end the game quickly, province was at 4, colonies at 5.
Yeah.
Salt the earth again. Nope, we want a duchy.
Duchies.
Okay, here we go. Big turn incoming.
Okay, there's 9. There's 10. Do we got it? We
We
got it.
did. We got too much of it. Didn't.
Yellow unfortunately got all both your platinums, but it's fine. So Benji might be having a good turn here.
Very good turn. Here comes a
Yeah.
ranger.
This probably just wins, right? Is that enough to win? Um,
You need 4
yeah,
buys,
it
right?
wins. No,
Oh
salted earth
no!
turns
Oh,
into a colony.
colonies. You're right. No, Benji, no.
And you
Uh,
could have salted earth 3,000 colonies and scored enough points to win.
yeah, triple salt the earth was a win in hand right there.
Also, some interactions between debt and fortune is when you make sure that you play fortune before you pay off debt, because then you double your
Yeah.
money and then pay off debt. If you pay off debt first, then you basically lose money that gets doubled.
Ooh, I don't like that choice. I don't like that choice at all. Benji just played their only ninja in this entire deck when they already had a gladiator in hand. If they so they had 8 at a minimum, but if they successfully revealed a card that Ibba couldn't block, they had a colony in hand as well.
Again, Eva keeps playing both these ninjas on the same turn when it doesn't really do a ton.
It's
You want to
psychological.
attack
You
multiple things.
to
Yeah.
proceed to the buy phase, you would have to click end actions, and there's still actions left that you could play. Can you imagine doing such a thing?
Yeah, well, I guess that's why the button's there, huh?
It's
What
to
if you play
tempt you.
Dominion but you're forced to play as many actions as possible every turn?
Or Dominion, where you're forced to buy the most expensive thing you can with the amount of money you've got.
Um,
I'm not sure you'd be able to distinguish that version of Dominion from certain
um,
tiers of League.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. But some nice rules are: one, you don't have to buy the most expensive thing that's available, and two, you don't have to play all your stuff every turn. You can choose not to.
That's true.
And three, trashing is good. Get trashing.
Ooh, as Benji, you salt a province here, not a colony. Because if you salt a colony and they buy colony, you lose. You salt a province and they buy province, they lose.
Um, that said, I do think the marching ninja there looks pretty good.
That's a good play too, yeah. Just get in an attack. Duchy, I would think. At this stage of the game, Duchy's now looking good. This points difference actually kind of matters a lot, and we're very late in the game. And now they go back to building. All right,
So
double salt. No, Benji.
double thought would have won the game. Yeah. But yeah, so generally you build and then you green. So like if you find yourself going back and forth between getting green cards and getting building cards, like you might be doing something wrong there.
Yeah. You want to have a game plan. I'm going to build a deck, and then when my deck's ready to start scoring, I'll start scoring. And if you're judging that turn by turn, uh, probably need a little bit more of a long-term plan
Mm-hmm.
for your deck.
Once again, Salt the Earth wins here.
All right, can we find the Salt of the Earth button? Click either province or colony. Nope, no, we
Nope.
cannot.
This is unfortunately not a win here, right?
If Eva
It's
had a replace anywhere in their deck, they could have won by
one.
marching the replace.
So Iba bought the province, but given that Iba's first player, that's actually a loss for Iba.
Yeah, that was not a true tie. The points are tied, but the rules of Dominion are if it's tied and one player took fewer turns, that player wins. It's only a true tie if points are tied and the turn count is tied. So as player one, you can't end the game on a tie. There's going to be a like a 15-minute series of technical snafus that I'm going to have to chop out in the middle here. But we're back with game
Um,
4,
you're not going to leave in that riveting intermission.
the trials and tribulations of new league players. What do we got here?
No
There's
trash.
Charlatan, which gives out curses, and there's no way to trash them unless you catch them as they're coming in with a watchtower. You got plenty of draw. Fortress for a
Draw, draw.
village. Some plus buy.
So stables, because curses are a treasure right now, stables can discard curses for draw.
That would be funny. Uh, I think I want Charlatan as the first 5. Curses that are also basically coppers are not as bad as most curses,
They're
but
still
they still
bad.
look annoying. And so I would think about having a watchtower in the deck to potentially block curses, and I would take a charlatan to try to give them out. I think is probably the top priority here. It's not as obvious if it was just like witch and no trashing. Um,
Yeah. Watchtower Silver is a fine open.
yeah, I think that's sensible. Uh, and then charlatan's also not bad at getting you back around to hit 5.
Yeah, it makes 3 coins, which is
Yeah.
pretty good. It's a lot of money.
And then once you got a charlatan in your deck, I think for a while you're just clicking like actions and draw, so you can find the one charlatan consistently at a market at some point for plus buy.
Yeah, some combination of I don't know, because you have Hunter, Seer, and Stables are all 5 cost draw cards, and they're all okay, but not incredible here.
I don't think I love either of these openings. So I like opening with a watchtower, but I think you got to pair it with a silver to give yourself a good chance of hitting 5. Secret Passage is letting you change the order of your cards a bit, but that's not helping you too much in terms of getting to 5. I would top deck the watchtower here for sure. You're not hitting 5 very likely if you play it. In fact, you literally can't. Um, and then double silver. Double silver is not bad at hitting 5 for sure, but I'd rather like silver and a draw card, like silver and lackeys or silver and watchtower, is I think even more likely to get you to 5, and it's also going to be a less bad card going forward because I'd rather have a lackeys in my deck in the future than a second silver.
Yeah, that's fair. Normally I would say lackeys over
No,
Watchtower.
Benji, Benji, Benji.
Oh no,
Oh
Brian
no,
Gold.
that's tragic. There's so many good 5s here. Sorry, as you were saying,
Um, literally every 5 on this board is better than gold.
every 4
Maybe a
on this
touch here,
board,
maybe not.
every action on this board is better than gold. I would rather have a lackeys in my deck than a gold.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of which. So I think Charlatan's first 5 makes sense to me. After that, you want one of the draw cards. I just don't know which one's best.
Good question. Seer
Maybe.
probably draws more cards on average in total, but Stables does cycle a lot.
Uh,
Oh, Hunter also is getting
Hunter
you
cycles too, though,
as
because
much through
if
your
you're
deck
not
as
getting rid of
Stables is,
your.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unclear to me. I think I could see a case for any mix of Hunter, Seer, and Stables. I don't know if you click one of those consistently or click a mix of them.
I mean, I imagine a mix of those is going to be better than like a big stack of just one of them.
That's probably true. 9, don't you do it. Benji, listen here. You buy that Charlatan. Don't let this money go to your head. You got 5 money. All right, that's acceptable.
Okay, okay,
Market's
okay.
fine.
It's not. It's probably the 5 cost action I would want the least, but
I'd
it
still
is
take it over
still.
Courtier, I think.
Actually, I think you're right. Probably Market's better than Courtier. Mm, trying to think of other
Courtier's
typing here.
Courtier's not doing a whole lot until you have enough deck control to reliably line it up with a Watchtower or a Charlatan. Benji doesn't
Yeah,
have either of those cards, let alone deck
yeah.
control to line up the Courtier with those. So Market does look better than those.
But Courtier is at least a good gamer.
No, Eva, not you too. Also, Courtier would be a big liability in these decks because they would be, I think, a little bit too tempted to click the gold gain button.
Um, yeah, usually you want like gold gain after you're like overdrawing your deck so that you can gain the gold and then immediately play it the same turn. Until you
Yeah.
get that far, you probably don't want golds.
I don't think this is a very good order. I would play the market first and then the secret passage after. Uh, Top deck an estate for sure, because then your hunter can draw it back. Yeah. Unfortunately, this watchtower's not doing a whole lot, but don't play the watchtower and you can
Right, don't play
top deck.
Watchtower. Don't play
No, no,
Watchtower.
no. You didn't even
So
draw a card off of that.
one, it doesn't draw anything, and two, you could have just top decked whatever you bought here.
Stables could be right
Like
on
if you
top of
didn't,
your deck.
yep.
Ah, I'm telling you, the end actions button, you you can't bring yourself to press it. There's actions that you could play. Aren't you just gonna play them? Charlatan. Ah! Uh,
No
Look,
good.
it gives you 3 money. It says plus 3 coins. If you want plus 3 coins, there's an action that says plus 3 coins, and it gives out a curse. Benji,
Mm-hmm.
good Benji. That's still not a draw card, but it's better than what I was worried about.
Playing Passage before Fortress is a little suspect as well, because
Yeah,
again, more information,
yeah. Um, just as a general rule, cards where you're making choices, play those as late as you can, so you have as much information to base those choices off of. Uh,
like in this hand, playing the Passage first is okay because you'd rather not discard gold to Stables.
yeah.
Maybe trying to find a cheaper card like a copper here makes sense.
Like the choice of whether to put like a copper or an estate back, for example. You'd ideally want to make that choice at the end of your turn after you've drawn all of the cards there are to draw. So you're like, oh, I have 6 money, I can put a copper back, so I can still hit 5. Or if I have 5 money, I need to put an estate back because I want to hit 5.
Once again, play this Watchtower for no effect other than losing the reaction.
Yeah. Here's a question. So that's a perfectly sensible set of buys. I like those buys. If you had the
Mhm.
Watchtower in hand, would you trash the lackeys as it comes in? I think it's still probably better than
Um,
nothing, but that's not entirely clear. Like you just buy the lackeys to get the villagers and trash it if you didn't really want it. I think it's probably a net good card in this deck.
I think if it were a more controlled deck, I would say you trash the lackeys pretty happily. But I think given the current deck composition, you're probably okay just having the lackeys around still. Here, I'd probably just take Hunter and
Yeah,
keep
for
going on.
sure.
Yeah,
Definitely Hunter.
obviously grab the gold over the copper.
Difficult choice here.
Market. All right, got plus buy. You got money here.
For sure,
See,
Charlatan, and then one of the draw cards. That's not shame on you.
yeah, Charlatan Stables or Charlatan Hunter would have been my choice. I think at this point, Seer is probably not drawing very well
Yeah. Um,
compared to the other two.
yeah, Seer looks better if you have a deck composition that's got more of the twos, threes, and fours in it. Benji, just because they're scoring doesn't mean you have to. This is another reason I think that engines often lose in low level games is one player is doing something that like at least resembles the correct strategy, and another player is just totally off in left field, and that player clicks province on like turn 6. And the player who was initially doing the right thing sees that and is like, "Oh, I must be losing the game. Better abandon my strategy and start rushing provinces as well." And the engine never comes together. You have to
Yeah, it gets
have,
a little nerve-wracking when you're down like 15 points or 20 points or something,
yeah,
and you feel like you have to start scoring. But sometimes you can keep building, 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 and you score 30 points in one turn and you win.
Yeah, there's a lot of games where you can be down 4 or 5 provinces to 0, and that is totally fine. Obviously, it depends on the size of the
Hmm.
engine, and like with a good source of all VP, that lets you score without taking provinces. You can be down like 6-0, and that's still fine.
Oh yeah,
You just like
I've been
take
playing.
all
I've
the
played big triumph games where I'm down like 50 points and I just win on the
yeah.
last turn for like a single province and a billion triumph points. Right, like it happens.
I think you put the estate back on top of your deck because you're playing a hunter next, and I'd rather the estate be drawn by the hunter, where it's essentially a free draw.
No, you got a state anyway though, so
Yep. As it so happens, each of these hunters did manage to find one estate anyway.
there's still an estate in the bottom of the deck though.
Yes.
Like here, you should probably just top
This is,
lackeys and don't shuffle. Do not shuffle.
yeah. Top taking a gold. That was, okay, I guess
Yeah, the
it,
problem with shuffling here now is like all your good cards are here, and those 7 cards are very bad.
yeah. You want to think twice before triggering shuffles. Depending on the type of deck you're building, a lot of times your discard pile is going to be disproportionately made up of a lot of bad cards. Like if you played Stables, for example, and you discarded a bunch of coppers into your discard, or if you played Hunter and you had a bunch of choices where it's like 2 coppers and one of them gets discarded. This shuffle's actually not so bad. There's a Stable Hunter down there. Um, but a lot of the times triggering a shuffle can be dangerous because it's going to be a particularly bad shuffle. And then your next hand is going to be like 5 coppers. You're going to be like, oh, this was so unlucky. And in actuality, a lot of times it's your own decisions that caused it.
Yep. Sometimes you think you're unlucky, but you just played badly. Classic Dominion.
Actually, thinking about
Okay.
the Watchtower in the Charlatan, maybe the Watchtower is an even better card to top deck than the lackeys in that previous turn. If you know your opponent has a propensity to curse you.
Yeah, and you can just trash the curse coming in.
Indeed.
Well, it's a pretty good turn we're stringing together, though.
Yeah.
I mean, keep going. No reason to stop now.
Okay. We are getting places.
All right.
This is what
And
happens when
again,
you
you
click
don't
the draw
have to play
cards.
Watchtower.
Of the 6 draw cards that have been bought, 4 of them were displayed by Eba this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Turns out drawing cards is good.
yeah. Uh, Actually, well, counting lackeys, because lackeys is also a draw card. Eba played like 6 draw cards there. I
He was
think,
looking in pretty good shape here.
yeah, Benji was a bit too market happy. Market is certainly a less bad buy than like a gold or a province. But if you're using market for payload, I would say it's not very efficient. A 5 cost card that's just giving you 1 free coin isn't amazing. Market's a card you want for the plus buy mostly, usually, where you're getting to the point where you're hitting like 7 or 8. That's when you want to start thinking about having a market. So you can buy like a 5 and a 3 or a 5 and a 2. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Vinci has a bunch of markets. What you really want to have is like 1 or 2 markets, and then a bunch of draw cards to find your markets. And then once you get to the point where you want 3 or 4 buys, then you add a few more markets. I wouldn't treat market as the main payload of the deck.
Yeah, there's a good chance Eba wins this turn. I think, given these few cards here, just needs to hit 8 coins to win.
Can we do it?
Eba's just responding to the message that was there for the last 15 minutes.
They had to draft a few possible replies, and then you
Mm.
send them to the copy editor, and then send them through the legal team, and you know how the process goes.
Mm-hmm. Um. Okay, we're real close here.
This is gonna get there. You got to find 2 more
There's no way
money.
it misses. Yeah, I assume there's no way it misses, but I
Yeah.
guess we'll see.
Passage
Take
looks like the
passage
better
over
card
from
to
the
take
first
here.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gotta find money.
Please play the
Play
lackeys
the Blackie
first.
first.
We're already there, but
Yeah, we're
on
there. Okay.
principle,
All right. Well,
Eva's
Eba
on the
is on the
board.
board. Well, should probably wait till Eba actually clicks province, I
Yeah,
guess.
let's not jump the gun here. Maybe we go back to buying more hunters. Can we do it? Huzzah.
There we go. Eba's on the board.
Which, if I'm understanding the context of these conversations correctly, is probably Eva's first league win period. Sounds like they were new this season.
Um,
Let's investigate.
yeah, it sounds like Eba's first league match ever.
Indeed, this is the very first match, the very first win of the very first match. And that's what happens when you click draw cards. You got a bright future ahead of you.
Hmm.
Benji has been in K Division for a little while now, moving on up in the world. Was in J for a little bit, then went back down to K. Okay, what do we got here? Plenty of draw. Envoy, Lackeys, Crew, Wild Hunt. Hunting Lodge or Minion can potentially draw as well if you have a small hand size. You got villages with
Hmm.
Mountain Village, Hunting Lodge, and Charm for plus buy. No trashing. So the lack of trashing means you basically need to add a lot more draw in total to get your deck working. But certainly this kingdom it'll be worth doing that. Just keep clicking draw in actions until your deck is functional. As far as synergies with Patron go, Envoy is a nice minor synergy. You reveal a bunch of cards. There's a good chance you reveal a Patron, and you get like one extra coffer out of it. That's not game breaking or anything, but it's nifty.
Mountain Village is not the open you generally want.
I would definitely not open with Mount Village. Uh, there's a lot of good five
That
cost
said,
cards here. I'd open with something that
that
gets me
said,
to five.
Eva does get the ideal Mountain Village open draw, which is buy something good turn 3 and then immediately play it turn 4.
Yeah. I think I would open Patron Lackeys.
I
What do
like
you think?
Patron Lackeys quite a lot. Um, I would do my best to never buy silver here because silver seems absolutely brutal.
Yeah, like I was saying, you've got a lot of draw you need to be doing because like you have the tools here to draw through all 10 junk cards even if you can't trash them, but it's going to take a lot of draw to get through all your junk. And so adding additional stop cards looks extra bad. I'm trying to avoid that. So Lackeys looks better than Silver. And then for the four, Patron versus Envoy. Envoy is a draw card and Patron is not. But Patron is going to bank up some villagers, and I think that matters a lot here because you might have hands where you've got like an envoy, but you didn't find your village. Given the unreliability of this deck, I think having an extra villager or two looks kind of impactful. And Patron's also doing a decent job of getting you to five.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only treasure I actually want on this board is the one that has plus buy on it.
Yeah. That being said, like Envoy Silver, I think is a totally reasonable opening from Benji. That's also going to do
Yeah,
well
it's
hitting
fine.
five.
It's especially good if you find Envoy turn 3, you're quite happy.
Yeah.
If you find it turn 4, it's a little awkward because like you might end up just drawing into your shuffle and but not play the card you bought turn 3. It can create some weird shuffles.
Yeah. Like if you're opening, say, Patron Silver or Patron Lackeys or something, you're going to have five cards turn three, five cards turn four. You're going to trigger a shuffle at the end of your fourth turn. So it doesn't really matter whether you hit five turns or your turn four. With a card like Envoy or Smithy, where you're drawing more than two cards out of a 12 card deck at that point in time, hitting a big number turn three is much more impactful because you're going to shuffle your deck at the end of turn three because you're only going to have like four cards left in your deck, or three cards in the case of Envoy. All right.
It's a legionary.
So obviously discard Silver here, but as it turns out, it won't matter. So Iba chose to discard the Legionary. Important to note, Benji does not have any actions. So even if you let him have that Legionary, they couldn't have played it. Oh no. Oh, I understand. Iba was on a
Legionary
level that I
gold.
wasn't prepared for. If Iba had discarded the silver, Benji would only had 5 money when I bought a good card. By letting Benji have the silver, they buy a gold and then sabotage themselves. That's some next level thinking from Iba.
You know what? Yeah, that's really good. Now legionary gold, like legionary attack can be good, but on a board with like hunting lodge and minion, it doesn't do a whole lot. People
Yeah,
can just discard their hand and not worry.
Legionary is terminal. I mean, it costs an action. It's also a stop card that doesn't draw you any cards. Gold is also a stop card. You took time out of your day to spend two precious $5 buys on things that do not help your deck at all. If anything, hurt your deck. Just to discard attack your opponent. If they find a hunting lodge in their starting hand, they just pitch their hand and get back to five anyway.
Also, without deck control, it's hard to even line up the golden legionary, so
Also
odds of
true.
even attacking are pretty low.
Yeah, this is pretty early to take a golden legionary. Here it doesn't matter what you discard. You discard anything but the mountain village, they'll just pick it back up.
I mean, theoretically, you discard Mountain Village here because they might have other actions, but I don't think they
That's
actually have
true.
other
Yeah.
actions in their deck.
Probably time for Charm from Iba. Looks like you need plus buy now. You have to take Charm here. I mean, you could buy like another draw card like Crew or something and then buy Charm next turn. But like on a good turn here, you're hitting more than enough to have use for two buys. So I'd just take the Charm immediately. Then you go back to quick actions and draw.
Yeah, Charm also has the advantage of not being drawn dead by Envoy. Although if you see Charm in the Envoy, you probably toss a Charm, so
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't matter.
I think Crew is a fine buy, provided you buy Charm soon thereafter. It's a little bit more
Mm.
conservative. The gold buy is absolutely not fine. Benji, you should feel deep shame at what you just done to your deck.
Well,
You don't
Benji
even
doesn't
need
get to
two
attack
golds.
here.
The Legionary. No! You were doing so well. I was so happy when you clicked the Crew. It
You
said
almost had it.
draw. Oh,
And
oh, oh,
here's the
oh.
exact situation where the Hunting Lodge just like negates the Legionary attack.
Yeah.
Although I may actually not actually play the Hunting Lodge here because you can discard Envoy. Oh, never mind. I was
Interesting
gonna say you can
choice of
discard the
discard.
Envoy and other stuff and then Mountain Village to pick the Envoy back up and then draw that way, but this works too.
This looks a lot worse. Why didn't they not just leave the Mountain Village in hand? They could have drawn like five more cards there.
Yeah, you could have played Envoy. Interesting.
Yeah, if you leave Mountain Lodge, Mountain Hunting Lodge and Mountain Village, then the Mountain Village picks
Yeah.
up the Envoy. Then you play the Envoy. Then you play the Crew, and you've drawn like your whole deck. Please, that no, not that. What do you
Remember, if you
need to
have
have
six,
15 money for with one buy?
remember you must buy the most expensive thing you can afford.
That is the
Gold
rules in
one.
K League. They actually don't soften those rules until like I League or earlier.
Um, yeah. I think people just see gold to cost six and they think,
Ah,
oh,
bitchy, you
well, even with two buy, you got a two five cost and you got a province instead.
you had the charm. You imagine like a mountain village and a crew there, or a hunting lodge and an envoy. What a beautiful set of buys that would have been. There we go.
Alas. All right, that's good. That was good.
That was a
Mountain
good
Village
set
on
of
really good.
gains. I like those gains.
All right, here you
Um,
play Mountain Village first, so you can get the best card out of your discard before. Okay, never mind.
wow, look at all this
You could play
money.
Mountain Village first to like make sure you get the charm or something, and then trigger the shuffle and draw it on.
See how much money you have? It's like you need a second buy. I'm gonna get the squirt gun.
For the cat.
Yes.
All right, once again, there's no actions left for Benji, so you discard the gold.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it won't actually matter because they're gonna have eight regardless and only one buy.
Alrighty, we are neck and neck. Now that one extra buy could end up mattering a lot here. For Benji. It's the ability to do like Province Duchy in the end game. Here you just buy lackeys, for sure.
Not a state. You need the villages.
Look at this hand right now and imagine you had a lackeys and how much safer this envoy play would be if you had a spare villager to burn.
Mhm. All right, we're in the heavy green phase right now, which is gonna get it's gonna make a hard to hit province.
Envoy just miraculously misses all the other actions. Actually, is that even miraculous? How many actions does Benji have in their deck?
Not that many. It's pretty treasure heavy.
Double Duchy here? Or
Double Duchy. I think Double Duchy makes this most sense to me.
I think probably
Uh,
so. Benji has the charm, which I think means their deck's probably a little bit better long term. It's not entirely
Well, it
clear.
also puts you up a point. Yeah, it also puts you up the point, and so now if you're Ben or you kind of have to take the province
Don't
here.
there's no reason to play these cards. Don't waste the villager.
Don't play them.
Thank you.
Okay, good, good.
All
Okay,
right,
good. I like that turn.
Eva's going for it.
Missed, just slightly missed here, but
All right, can an envoy do it here? Do you pick up the envoy and play it?
There's no way you're hitting 8 off this envoy, is it?
You're right. I
Maybe?
mean, that's totally. I'm like, so what do you pick up then? The problem with taking the envoy
Um,
is you trigger a shuffle, and then
oh, wait, hold on. This might. I'm like discard the envoy. That's right. It's
you
only.
just pitch the envoy.
Oh, plus the gold is. Maybe it's correct to pitch the gold actually. Now that I think about it.
I don't think it is.
All right, it's only 7 here, so that's
That
not going to
got
be a win.
absurdly close for a hand that had
Um,
zero money in it at the start.
I guess you're taking Dutchy at this point also. Are we
Lackeys,
taking the state?
please. Lackeys.
Lackeys
File
makes most sense
lackeys.
for sure. Villagers are good.
If your opponent takes the last duchy, you're still going to be within 6 points of them. So it's not like you need to counter that. And the lackeys means you have one of those envoy turns where you played an envoy and you revealed a bunch of actions. Your opponent can't safely discard your treasures because they'll have to discard your actions that you're threatening to play. All right,
This,
the mutual $7 hands.
I think we've seen like six $7 hands with one province in the pile here.
Yeah. This is a consequence of rushing to green. You think you're getting the jump on them, but then your deck just falls apart. And then if you copy
Yeah,
your opponent who's jumping the gun, well, then you've also jumped the gun, and now we're stuck in whatever this is.
at least Eva gets to play his crew every other turn.
Yeah, the crew's looking pretty good right about now.
Takes
Hunting
a hunting lodge. I
Lodge.
guess it's fine. Okay, this turn is interesting. Is there a village down there?
In Eba's bottom four, I don't know.
Yeah, because I think you just play crew first here and try to find a village
I think
if
Lackeys is
there
just
is
straight up
one.
the best card to be clicking right now in terms of immediate value. Um, States aren't going to make a difference. It's just whoever gets that province wins. And I think
Yep,
Lackeys is just the best card to click in terms of maximizing your chance of hitting 8.
another
That
7 cost hand here for
this has got to
for
do it,
Benji.
right?
All right, play the mountain village first.
There we
Pick up the
go.
gold.
Do you pick up
Then I don't
the
think the
gold or
colors
the
here matter
envoy?
necessarily.
I'm not sure.
Oh, it could be envoy actually. That's a good
If,
point.
gosh, look at
Okay, we're
these.
at 5. We need two
Envoy
cards
and
to
a
find the
deck
gold.
full of victory cards is sure unpleasant.
Can we find the
Right,
gold
there's
plus its lackeys?
oh, we
We
did
got
it!
it.
Eba's on a
That's gonna
roll.
be another win there for Iba.
All right, 2-3 going into the final game. Could they tie it up?
I appreciate Benji's enthusiasm for the good
Yes.
games. They gotta switch the player order. Um, luckily they randomly got the right one, but that was random.
Yeah, you're supposed to alternate. The important thing, I think, is not the order really. It's that you have 3 games as player one, 3 games as player two is the most important thing. All right, this looks like a nice, wholesome game of straightforward Dominion. You got your trashing with Chapel, you got a bunch of villages, you got some draw cards, you got some plus buy.
5-2 is interesting.
5-2, I think you open Junk Dealer Chapel.
I was thinking junk dealer, but you can make an argument from market, I guess. I think probably just junk dealer.
I can see it Market or Bazaar as well. They segue more naturally into adding a Margrave, probably. But Junk Dealer helps you get thin a little bit quicker, and it can kill the Chapel at the end. So I think I prefer this opening.
Yeah, the main one is gets rid of Chapel eventually. But junk dealer also becomes a dead card eventually as
Yeah.
well. And but
Courtyard.
courtyard is not what I'm thinking.
I mean, it could be worse. They could have bought Snake Witch.
Yeah. All right. At
The
the very least, you have
Courtyard,
the junk dealer, which is good.
it's not terrible. Um, I mean, so Chapel is the best card in the base set because you trash all your cards, you get super thin, and then your deck scales very immediately from there. So certainly you should be taking Chapel here. Neither player has touched Chapel. Um, Courtyard's gonna be a little
Yeah,
bit
you might
slower, but at least resembles a game plan. You know, it's draw, you click some villages and some draw, and you're getting places.
Yeah, usually if Chapel's on the board, you have to think really hard for a reason not to buy Chapel.
Yeah. No, Benji. We've
Oh
been over this.
no, there's such a big engine here you can build, and
Yeah.
gold. You can maybe get gold event. No, I don't even know about that actually, because like Vassal is two
Bath looks a lot
coins,
better. Yeah.
and Vassal probably just better payload than gold on this board, especially with Courtyard. You can also like line things up appropriately.
Benji, listen here. Thank you.
Okay, Bizarre's good. How bizarre. But yeah, basically you want to be playing at least one Margrave a turn, just because the attack is nice. Um, it's also the most efficient draw. Like Guard Dog can draw a little bit, Quarter can draw a little bit, but Margrave is still the most efficient draw. So you're probably playing with some villages, a few Margraves or a bunch of Margraves, and then vassals for payload.
Kind of an interesting choice. Guard Dog does kind of counter Margrave. I guess not that much. You probably do still play with a Margrave. If you catch them without a Guard Dog in their hand, then the Margrave attack hurts. And even if they have a Guard Dog, they're just drawing back up to where they were, but with a little bit of free cycling.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
bought a
The Guard
province?
Dog is
Benji. We are so incredibly far from province time. That was absolutely preposterous. You could have bought double fives. Oh man.
yeah. Like this board has basically everything you want in an engine. It has draw, it has attacks, it has trashing, it
So
has villages,
look at all the
it
beautiful
has
cards.
buys.
I think every card
The
here
board
could potentially see play at some point. Snake Witch probably the least important, but even that, maybe you buy that on a spare two later in the game.
um it competes with Courtyard, which is a little awkward, but I guess your village space isn't unlimited. I guess
Ah,
Snake Witch would be okay against an opponent who's like behind and not trashing, but that shouldn't actually ever be the case with a chapel.
so looking over at YbbaTheCat's deck, they haven't actually added any trashing at all. Uh, so they open with Silver and Workers Village. I would advise against opening with a village. If you have zero other actions in your deck, you can't possibly need +2 actions right now. And there's no way you have enough money to need the +1 buy either. So it's a bit of a nothing buy. Obviously, Workers Village is a good card, and you're going to want that a bunch later on. But you buy the card that immediately improves your deck. So like on the 4/3, probably like Chapel Silver, I guess, the best opening. Um, and then they added Guard Dog and Workers Village, and then they're struggling to hit 5 here, probably because they added a Workers Village instead of a card that improves their deck. And when they did hit 5, they bought Courtyard and Silver instead of taking a Junk Dealer.
Yep, more workers' villages.
We got a Workhorse over here. Yeah,
Chapel
Chapel Vassal
Vassals
will be fine.
open. Yeah, that's totally fine.
I
That
think
might be.
I would prefer Chapel Silver, I think, because the collision case is a little bit less bad. You trash 3 and you still get to buy a 2-cost card. In a base only game, I think Chapel Vassal could be reasonable. Because in base only games, there's usually far fewer 2-cost cards that you want to buy. And so drawing Chapel Vassal is about equivalent to drawing Chapel Silver, and that you're not buying anything anyway.
Yeah, there is a very low probability chance of playing a chapel that would have otherwise missed a shuffle with the vassal. But it only happens in the exact situation where chapel is the 11th of your 12th card.
Yeah,
Well, it's
one
not.
eleventh more
It's
likely
slightly
to
worse
find the
than one
chapel.
twelve. You have to also not bottom deck your vassal. So if you use sombrero, then that's there. So it's slightly worse than 1 out of 12, but we can call it 1 out of 12 within some rounding.
What's it like? It's like what one
Because you
in
find vassal turn, because you find vassal turn 3, you flip a useless card, and you still find the chapel next turn. If
yeah.
you find vassal turn 4, then you'll flip the chapel and play it.
Yeah, so point being, I think Vassal would be a perfectly fine opening, fairly similar to Silver in a lot of ways. The
Which
important thing is open
chapel?
with the chapel.
Yeah, open chapel. That's a big one. The snake witch has to attack here.
No, you don't give out the curse because then that's going to provoke Eba to get trashing.
Clue them onto the secret strategy of trashing cards.
Yeah. Benji. Dang it, Benji. Look at this
I mean,
beautiful
right at
kingdom.
two
Don't y'all
columns.
want to play with it?
I will say building engines is hard, so it takes some getting used to.
But it's also more fun. But
It is more fun for
you
sure.
don't want to play the click gold, click profits game every single game.
No, that's boring.
So I
But
think Evo on that previous turn would have benefited a lot more from guard dog or a vassal or a courtyard than another workers village. They got a lot of villages and not many terminal action cards. I feel like that might have been a case of I got 4 money, I got to buy the 4 cost card.
yeah, it's classic new player syndrome of spend all your money on the most expensive thing you can.
Which is a rule in K League. You have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No one's broken the rule yet.
All right, here you discarded the Bazaar instead of the Junk Dealer. That's maybe correct. I don't know what their deck composition exactly looks like, but that could be correct.
Yeah, it's not clear to me. Obviously, you keep a Bazaar and a Margrave. 2 Bazaars versus a Junk Dealer. Who's to say?
Because I think there's a Margrave in the discard already, so maybe you're thinking it's more likely to pair that Bazaar with Margrave next turn if you're not drawing this turn or something. I don't know.
I'm thinking this Junk Dealer's been with me through thick and thin. He deserves to be in my hand.
Yeah, it's
Open with
fair.
him.
See if this Junk Dealer was the other Bazaar instead.
Yep.
But still hits 8. So I assume this will be a province. It shouldn't be a province, but it will be a province.
But notice how we're only seeing a little bit over half of our deck. Uh, if you kept on the gas pedal, buying villages and draw cards a little bit longer, you'd be drawing your deck consistently, and then the deck wouldn't be falling apart.
Yeah, on the board was like draw, trashing, buys. Like everything about this board is strong. Strong trashing, strong buys, strong draw. The payload's maybe not the strongest.
Yeah, it's the
Payload's
one thing
fairly
that's a
strong.
little weaker than average.
But with this much stuff, like you should be drawing your deck like pretty consistently every turn for a while. So if you're not, you're probably just not building correctly, is what I would say.
So the only card in the kingdom that has not been touched is also the strongest card in the kingdom. Uh, but Benji at least opened with a decent substitute, with the courtyard junk dealer opening. Eva, I think, the early workers villages were just not conducive to hitting 5 and getting going.
Mm-hmm. We're also trashing copper over a state for some reason.
Well, you only needed 6 money to buy a gold.
Hmm. Regardless, I think Benji is very easily winning this game. I don't see
It does appear to be the
any
case,
other.
yes.
Yeah.
Interesting choice here from Eva to top deck a silver. Oh, never mind. I'm misreading that. I thought they were still the vassal in their hand. I'm like, well, obviously top deck the guard dog and then play it with the vassal. But no, this makes sense. Alrighty.
Yeah, it's fine. Making province and something.
Guard dog looks pretty good, I would think. Counters these Margraves.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's fine. I don't think it really matters too much. Seems unlikely to
Yeah, you need
unlikely to matter.
Benji to dud badly multiple times, and this hand is not looking like a dud.
Nope.
Ooh, also don't Ibba reacted with the guard dog. Although guard dog is a card you can play as a reaction to an attack, you often don't want to, especially versus discard attacks, because you draw a bunch of cards and you have to discard down to 3 anyway. Uh,
That's if there's no built in hand, so maybe it's still correct.
yeah. I mean, these are basically big money decks, but if you leave the guard dog in your hand and you play that from the small hand size, you draw 4 extra cards. Oh, they
Well,
found the
I
other guard
mean,
dog
it's
anyway.
not anyway.
But unfortunate. Eva's deck has plenty of Workers' Villages in there. But also without thinning, you're not guaranteed to find them. Gotta
Yeah,
trash those
one advantage of
cards.
getting rid of your coppers is you're more likely to get your villages and your draw cards together. Copper's a bad card, usually. So
Ooh, that was quite a draw off of the yard for Benji.
you don't want to see that. That's a little rough.
Indeed. Workers Village, Vassal. Are we throwing in the towel?
Um, I mean, it sort of seems like a moral resignation, not an actual resignation.
Don't type those preemptive GGs. You're gonna feel foolish if you end up sneaking out a win. And if you don't think that's possible, then you can just click the resign button.
Yeah,
Will they fall on the
generally,
sword? Go out on your own terms. Nope.
no, fighting to the bitter end. But yeah, usually when you GG someone, it's because the game's actually over or you are about to resign.
You too, Benji. It's not over yet.
That's all right.
Some premature congratulation.
All right, this almost certainly hits 8, right?
I wouldn't say almost certain. Okay, now it's gonna hit eight.
This almost certainly hits 8, right?
I think we have a good chance of hitting it here.
The odds are good. All right, well, looks like what 4-2 then in Benji's favor.
4-2 for Benji, who will now be batting above 50. They still have some of a ways to go before they catch the first place if they want to promote. Ibba with a 2-4, not too shabby for first match in league. And there are some other folks who are in the 17 to 25% range, so they could easily avoid demotion, depending on how the rest of the matches go. Anyways, that's the
Where we
match.
demote to?
Hmm? Oh, you're right. You raised it's a good point. Demote to where? They're the bottom of the league. Well, what if a wild L division showed up?
Yeah, maybe.
I forgot that demotion isn't really a thing at this stage.
No,
Nowhere to
it's
go but up.
not.
All right.
Oh man.
Well,
All
thanks for
right.
commentating.
Yep.